Okay, hi, I'm Angelina Music. For those of you who don't know me, I'm going to go over the Wellness by Choice Enterprising Women's Project in Businesswoman News. So I am first the co-founder and the CEO of Intelligent Netwear, and the web technology behind this 20-plus-year-old company that I share with my husband Daniel is what helps to facilitate these projects behind me. So I'm very excited to share with you the facets involved in these projects to help experts who are authentic and experienced in their niches to reach, teach, and impact greater. During this time in history, it is really hard to know who you can trust for their product, service, and offering, who has something not just of value, but something that's effective that consumers can benefit from. So one, I am doing economic development for micro enterprises, solo entrepreneurs, small business owners who are what I call the authentics. And so to help build their visibility and credibility to help them compete better in the marketplace. And then secondarily, it's solving a solution, and that is impacting these entrepreneurs under these categories and reducing the footprint of what I call the enterprising predators that are out there who create inferior or fake products and services, mislead and hurt consumers. So those are two solutions that these three projects are facilitating. And so I'm going to start with Wellness by Choice. So Wellness by Choice helps consumers live smarter, healthier, and happier. The niche target audience for Wellness by Choice, as far as the buyers of these products, services, and offerings, are those individuals who have an interest, a commitment, and resources to facilitate moving forward in having a maybe more greener, eco-friendly home and workplace, food products that are healthy, natural, organic, and they want to have a lower carbon footprint in this world. So they are very mindful about their lives, they care about their bodies and the people that they love, and so they are always looking for products, services, and offerings that help them live smarter, healthier, and happier. So the companies and the manufacturers and the experts and the products in these types of industries are the beneficiaries of our Wellness by Choice network, our Wellness by Choice Expo, and our Wellness by Choice book. The Wellness by Choice network has in the US 19,111 websites, which is one in every geo or city across the US with a population of 750 or above. Education is queen, I guess you can call it. It's really important for those consumers who do not yet have the resources to invest in some of what is required to living that optimum life, to be educated, to get them on their way. And so to be able to have the experts of Wellness by Choice, which are your physicians, your practitioners, your healthy food companies, your eco-friendly product companies, for them to have a platform that allows their product and offering to educate the general population was really important to me. So the excuse of I didn't know is removed. So eliminating reasons why people are not educated and live inspiring, healthier, and happier can be done to a certain point through Wellness by Choice. And then we also have an additional 1,067 websites in Canada, Australia, the European Union, and the UK for those solopreneurs and inventors and innovators that say, I want to reach beyond the US. So it's a beautiful, healthy, wholesome vision to be able to take care of those within the U.S. and then expand responsibly beyond. So this September, we have the Wellness by Choice Expo at the Phoenix Convention Center. And the expo is designed in themed stages across this building. So I've reserved the whole building, which is 143,000 square feet. And so each themed area in this expo has a stage, and each stage represents a category, which is actually a chapter in the Wellness by Choice book. So the book is the guide that takes the education that the vendors provide at the expo. It's just in a book form. And each of the stages are live streamed, so our vendors have an opportunity to teach. And how they will reach a greater audience than the physical attendees at the event, they will be live streamed. And that allows individuals internationally to tune in for 2 days to learn from these vendors and benefit from their education and from their offerings through Wellness by Choice. The physical attendees, we're looking at about 3,500 a day, so about 7,000 to 8,000 between the 2 days. And the physical attendees are going to be allowed into the expo through a batched process. When you and I go buy a ticket for a play or a production, we arrive at a certain time and then we leave at a certain time. So this experience that they can walk through the Wellness by Choice exhibits, stages, is to be relaxing, educational, fun, inspiring, motivating. There's just enough individuals going through that the experience is safe and meaningful, and they get to engage with the vendors. So the vendors will not be overwhelmed with too many people. They will be available to talk to the attendees as they go through on those 2 days. So again, we'll have that batched methodology. We also have, just like when you and I go into IKEA, we go in one direction through the Wellness by Choice Expo. And so there's a starting point and you go through it, and then there's a finishing point. And if you're still within your time period to be at the expo, you're welcome to start from the beginning again and visit all the vendors a second time around. I think that's going to be really meaningful because of the different presentations. So right now we're looking at a window of time that the tickets that the Wellness by Choice attendees will pre-purchase to be able to experience the Wellness by Choice Expo. And the digital attendees, what we project is at least 25 to 30,000 digital attendees, which will be tuning in to the live feed of all of the themed stages. And these the content that is going to be captured during the time that they are streamed will also be available beyond the event for those attendees who would like to, or that audience that wants to learn from the vendors beyond that date. And then the Wellness by Choice book, it is, again, the table of contents mirror the themed stages and exhibits at the expo. It's very methodical. It's a day in the life of living well. So you wake up in the morning, you get out of your bed. We will have displays of a bedroom, an eco-friendly, healthy, happy bedroom, and all those things that help you go to sleep well and wake up refreshed in an inspiring environment. And then the vendors associated with putting that set on that stage together are going to be nearby, and they'll be the ones speaking at that stage. So this is Wellness by Choice. The vendors have an option to have their products represented in the Wellness by Choice online stores. So for every website we have in place as a geo, we have a store in place. The mobile is going to be a convenient way for people to be able to access the education and the products and the services and the offerings of the vendors who participate in the Wellness by Choice Network. Each of the vendors I have a conversation with for me to come to get to know, like, and trust. So this is a highly vetted, and you know, I feel it's my responsibility to be sure that only the best of the best are being represented through Wellness by Choice. That is a level of consumer accountability that I think is missing out there in the marketplace. And so I'm wanting to say, if I trust these vendors, you can trust these vendors. So there is the vetting and approval process, and I have the final say so on that. Moving over to the Enterprising Women's Project, which is a book and a conference. The Enterprising Women's Project was formed to address, something like in Wellness by Choice, the problem of the rise of enterprising women predators is the name, or the faux entrepreneurs. And so the Enterprising Women's Project, the mission is to bring together a group of women who are authentic niche leaders. And they have gone through a process with me to be able to embrace this journey of stepping on a larger stage. So there's been training, there has been preparation, and this is the stage for their opportunity to shine greater. So the Enterprising Women's Conference is where these women will be interviewed in a talk show format, and I will ask them about their backstory and their offering, and how it segues between the two. What is it, their backstory, where it makes sense they're actually providing the product and the service that they are, and then speak on what that product and service offering is. The attendees at the conference have an opportunity to ask them questions as well. So we're doing a talk show format for the first part that the Enterprising Woman experiences, and then something similar to a TED Talk, where then she stands up and she speaks on what I call the did you knows, which are the scotomas, or the misinformation, disinformation, the gaps that people have about something within our industry. So it's a, it's a did you know this? And you may go, I had no idea. It's a good thing I know that now, because that truth can help me reframe my perception about that specific topic in that industry. So the Enterprising Women's Conference has physical attendees and digital attendees. Because the physical attendees are part of the live audience, any talk show on TV that you would watch, they generally have between 300 to 400 individuals in their live audience. So we are also following that format, because the content that is live streamed and captured at the Enterprising Women's Conference is also going to be content that will be available for us to be able to air on TV as part of the Enterprising Women's documentary, as a resource for some of the networks that do fundraising for their TV networks, for their TV stations. We can offer that up as a community education piece about women's entrepreneurship and personal development. So the physical attendees, we're looking at about 300 to 400. The digital attendees, 25 to 30,000 or more. Each of the attendees, they do pay a price point, and because there are different packages. The digital attendees will have an Enterprising Women's kit physically mailed to them before the event, so they can follow along with the Enterprising book, which is a chapter and a guideline from each of the Enterprising women who are speaking at the conference, who have been a part of this project over the last 18 months, 12 to 18 months. They've come in at different times, and we've been on the road meeting these women face to face, which has been really important, and then a lot of Zooms. So I've gone through a lot of women who've wanted to be part of this project, and about this many have made it into this project. and continue. And so the Enterprising Women's book is, right now we've got 15,000 copies reserved. And this book, I call it distribution over time, direct to consumers and online, independent and box bookstores. And what I mean by that is that there are small mom pop bookstores and communities all around the U.S. And since this whole project is about economic development and all the good stuff that comes with helping entrepreneurs succeed greater, it allows me to connect with these mom pop bookstores, have our book be represented in it, then have that bookstore be promoted through the network that we have, and then have the enterprising women who are part of this project, if they want to do a book tour, they have the opportunity to pick the cities, pick the locations of where they want to do their book tour. And so there's this mutual beneficial arrangement between the independent bookstore and them working with me, and then me being able to help the women once again reach, teach, and impact greater through their expertise. We also, the Enterprising Women's book is a teaching tool for women in distress. And for me, that's really special because in 1999, I used entrepreneurship to fund myself fleeing domestic violence and starting over. And I was a mom at 33 years old with 2 kids. And it was something that, or I was 32. And it was, if I would not have had entrepreneurship as part of that solution, because when you are an entrepreneur, and you use your street smarts to be able to generate money around your priorities. And for me, at that time, I had a home cleaning and organizing business, so I could take my kids with me. And there's another story behind that. The point is, entrepreneurship gives you the flexibility around the chaos you might be having to navigate through so that you can fund yourself forward into the next level of life. And so having the Enterprising Women's book sponsored and donated to women in distress, whether they're in shelters or part of organizations, and they can also be sponsored to participate in the Enterprising Women's project as well. The Enterprising Women marketing that has been done is, we've got our print interviews and ads, our radio and TV show interviews and ads, our online PR, web syndication, and press releases. So what we have done at this point, other than putting the content in the Wellness by Choice network with, this number of websites online, we've also promoted in Entrepreneur magazine in the March issue. Page 23 was the first introduction. The book cover of the Enterprising Women's book, their face is on it, so they gained some visibility and recognition through this page, and then also with Wellness by Choice, the book, and then some of the experts that are already a part of the Wellness by Choice project. Upcoming in the June-July issue is Phoenix magazine, where we have a 2-page in there, and then in August we'll have a 2-page in the Phoenix Home and Garden magazine, and then come come September we have a 2-page insert once again in Entrepreneur magazine. It's an insert which will list all the women who are going to be the physical attendees at the Enterprising Women's Conference, so their names will be listed. And then also we will have the speaking schedule for the Wellness by Choice Expo. And that will allow the companies, the readers of the publication, to see what companies are being represented, what topic are they going to speak on. So I guess it's kind of like a school education in these two projects. The Businesswoman News and Momtrepreneurs chapters, news, and networks. So the Businesswoman News Network was launched as one of the first news networks for women in business. That doesn't exist right now. It does not have writers or contributors. That's not how it works. We want each woman who has their story in the Businesswoman News Network to share their own story with their own words. So what they do is they use their mobile device, hold it horizontal, they speak into it, they talk about their backstory, their business they're offering, and then they give that footage to one of our Businesswoman News Network chapter directors, and then we take care of syndicating that content within that community or national if that woman in business wants national exposure. So it is a very controlled environment as far as the content goes, because it is that woman in business, her words, her video, her passion, her commitment, her expertise being communicated. And we have then retreats. So with the joint retreats, what I'm doing with the women who are part of the Enterprising Women's Project, and then those that physically attend this conference, they have an opportunity to work with me to learn how to do their own retreats. And so my own retreats, integrative coaching, Enterprising Women, Believe and Achieve Succeed, women wellness retreats. And for an example, one of the women, Paula Vale, she is an author and she also does Reiki. And so we're going to have a Reiki happiness retreat. And as she talks about Reiki and happiness, my role in that retreat is to talk about business development and marketing and personal development. And I'm a Beautiful Blessing retreat. So, you know, here is Raveen's James. She has I'm a Beautiful Blessing dolls. And she has, from little kids to women in their 90s, they get one of her dolls and it blesses them and makes them happy. And so we decided we'll do an I'm Beautiful Blessing retreat. So all of these different components work together. So this is Paula's book, Why Am I So Happy? And it's a wonderful, you know, pocket book you can stick in your purse and carry it along. So this means that we can do a retreat mirroring some of the content from a book, and then our niche focus is to work with Reiki instructors and those that want to grow their business around that specific topic. So the one thing that has been consistent in this project when I'm working with these women is that we focus on a specific niche, which is their primary niche, that they want to generate the most amount of sustainable income over time. So when we have that core offering defined, refined, and in place, then we can always look at secondary, tertiary, and beyond niches and products and services. But if there is, you know, one thing they want to be known for as their core product or service, that is what we focus on. And here are some of the women who have sent me their books. So here's Michelle Lee's From Profit to Power. And this is a wonderful book as far as working with women's philosophies to enhance their belief system about themselves financially. And then we have Becoming Starlight, which is from Dr. Sharon Prentice, and she shares her own story in here. She works with clients that go through the process of grieving the loss of someone, and her book is also a roadmap to be able to help people navigate through their own journey in that regard. So this is really exciting. We have Cindy Galvin, who is, more to give, and she's creating a training program, and she resides in the UK right now, so she's going to be flying over, and she's been a part of this project, and I'm going to continue working with her one-to-one beyond this project, and we're talking about the retreats. So what might have just started as I want to be part of the Enterprising Women's Project, which is a book, and then I expanded it to a conference, so we had a greater stage for the women to shine, can lead to the joint retreats and beyond. We have Dr. Christy Larson, who is the founder of Empowered Medicine. She wrote this book almost a decade ago. And when I met her 2 years ago, she shared with me her vision. She had been a granddaughter of a grandmother who had a lot of medicines that she went through. So she saw her grandmother going through that journey as a young woman, and she decided to become a clinical pharmacist. So Christy's passion through Empowered Medicine is to create a network of other clinical pharmacists and beyond who want to help patients reduce their consumption of prescriptions so that they reduce their side effects from those prescriptions, and also improve their life, their health and their wellness and their life, their philosophy in how they live. And Edie Summers, she told me it took 10 years for her to write this book. And it has so much information. What I would say to Edie is, we have a trilogy here. we need to break this book up because it has such a wealth of information, and she has done her diligence, and I'm really proud of her. So this is another example how I'm working with the women in business who are a part of this project. And, we've got those that are in Wellness by Choice. Some of the individuals, the women are in both projects, Wellness by Choice and the Enterprising Women's Project, like Dr. Sharon Prentice. But here is, The Art of Health by Dr. Kevin Chan. And so 2 years ago, we started working together, and the launch of Health Destiny Management and Managers is part of the mission. When he speaks at the Wellness by Choice Expo and at the Enterprising Women's Conference, because his niche is health philosophy, why you should choose to be healthy. So he's going to address that and health care economics. Now, some of the products in Wellness by Choice, as I said, we have online stores. For an example, we have Trong's honey, and he also has granulated sugar and maple syrup. And he invented the first sugar that is part sugar, part fiber, and has probiotics. So we're looking at people using his product to reduce their intake of sugar, increase their fiber, feed their gut with the probiotics, which helps the brain. It's a beautiful thing. He's a dad of 4 kids, and he decided he wanted to reduce the sugar content of his kids, and this was a way for him to solve that problem while blessing his kids, and then expand it beyond helping other children, especially those with juvenile diabetes. And so I'm very excited that we are going to have his product. We also have Billy's Coffee, for an example, for those people who want a healthy alternative to drinking coffee. And this is created out of roasted figs. When we look at some women in business that have created products, we have Lavender Farms out of Colorado. And here's an example of 2 of their products, which is a steak mustard rub with lavender in it and Mediterranean salt. And so with this company, in particular, if I want to private label for Wellness by Choice, our own brand, they are the manufacturers. So these are some of the fun examples that I love sharing. And this is what gets me out of bed in the morning, is what do I have that's coming in the mailbox from somebody who says, I have this great product, I don't know how to get it to the marketplace, or I have this education that I want to share with others to improve their life or their business, but I don't know how to reveal it to enough individuals where I could do this full time while they're working another job. So the Wellness by Choice book and the Enterprising Women book, the Enterprising Women's book, which right here we're looking at, 15,000 distributed over time. That initial book is going to be about, this size right here. It's a 6x9. However, at the Enterprising Women's Conference, what I'm doing is I'm making it about this big. So it is a workbook, so the attendees can follow along with the Enterprising Woman, and they can doodle, they can make their notes. And so part of the Enterprising Women's kit, whether you're a digital attendee or a physical attendee, is that you will get the workbook to this conference, the physical workbook. Even though we have the capacity where people could log in online and go through everything on their computer, there is something to be said for holding physical paper and actually writing and taking notes, and not just being in front of a device. Also, the Wellness by Choice book is this size. So this is actually a literal chapter that I printed out. This is my brain as well. And so it's a spec span from Daniel Amen Clinics. And so we look at the size of the page and the impact of the photo. So the companies and the products that are part of the Wellness by Choice Expo, they have the opportunity to have their product promoted, or their practice promoted in the Wellness by Choice book. It is education-based marketing. I mean, that's what all of this is it's educating the consumer through Wellness by Choice, how to live smart, healthy, happy. And then the Enterprising Women's Project are women, authentic women, who are experts in their niches, sharing, this is my backstory and why I started my business, because my backstory makes sense, it supports it, and then what my business offering is, and some things about that offering or about my business that you might be unaware of or have a misinterpretation about it. So this is a lot of education for consumers and entrepreneurs who are the recipients, and this is also a way that we can do economic development for enterprising women in business and for entrepreneurs who are in the business of helping consumers live smart, healthy, and happy. So I hope this overview gives perspective to the scale of these projects. One thing with the Businesswoman News Network is that there is an opportunity for women who are wanting to start their own business to be a chapter director or manager of a Businesswoman Network in their community. This affords them the opportunity to make about $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and it's fun and it's simple. And the women who have the opportunity to apply for this, they have to participate in the conference. So that is a requirement, because they need to see demonstrated through this Enterprising Women Project Conference the value and the impact of working in Businesswoman News. When they make the connection of, wow, this is how this project has these benefits and outputs to consumers and to enterprising women, then this is just a duplication of what we've done here on a local network, regional and national, for those that are interested. So for women, again, who want to be a chapter director or area director for the Businesswoman News Network, they need to be a physical or digital attendee of the Enterprising Women's Conference. And for those women who are participating in the Enterprising Women's Project, they are sending me their books and their products to this address here. And those women who are going to be physical attendees at the Enterprising Women's Conference, they also need to send their products and their books to this address here. So I hope you've enjoyed this overview, and I look forward to hearing your feedback. In the meantime, let's get back to work.